Hi everyone, I am Savanna Massey, and I'm going to give a brief presentation today on what I like to call Tor-Mentoring. When thinking about how I wanted to give a brief on mentorship, it forced me to think about all the different mentors that I have gone through with some highs and lows throughout my career. And so I think it would be worthwhile to speak on some of the lessons learned and how I have identified the types of mentors that maybe some should be cautious about or totally avoid. And of course, there are an abundant number of things that can make your mentor relationship less than ideal. Generally, these issues can be categorized under mentor types that are easy to spot. So I'm going to talk to you today using a list of mentor types that you should keep an eye out for and some recommendations on how to handle these bad mentors. And of course, since many of us have been in federal service for some length of time, typically we are the mentor. And so for us, it's also good for self-identifying and making sure that we do not fall under one of these categories as federal managers. I hope everybody enjoys, and as you go through these slides, if you are unable to hear the audio, up in the top right-hand corner, you will see a speaker button. That is where you can hit play to hear the voiceovers for each slide. And you will also be viewing some very unprofessionally made videos that I have inserted as well, but I think they get the point across, and I hope you enjoy. So here we go. Before we get started, I did want to share with you why I chose this subject to speak on. And that was because I was recently the recipient of the Dora Quinlan Mentorship Award at Fleet Readiness Center Southeast. And I bring this up because for those of you who are not aware of who Dora Quinlan was, she was an active member of FMA. She was the Chapter 11 president. And from 2011 to 2015, she served as the Region 2 Director, National Secretary, and National Vice President. And in 2008, she received the FMA Federal Manager of the Year Award. And so with FMA, she would often meet with congressional members and their staff in Washington and really represented federal employees' issues and brought them to legislation. Dora, she cared deeply about people, and she was the first to receive the Naval Aviation Systems Command Mentor of the Year in 2013, along with other awards that she received during her career. And so to me, I thought this was a good subject to share with you, and it was truly an honor for me to receive that award after her. So before we jump into our different Tor-Mentoring character types, I decided to go around and ask a few folks, what is one character trait or characteristic or bad habit that would deter them from selecting a particular mentor? If you click on the different pictures below, you will be able to hear their response. Here I have listed for you the different types of bad mentors that we are going to discuss during this presentation. The first one is the I'm all talk mentor. Next, we'll talk about the Sourpuss mentor. And then we have the drive-by mentor, the all up in your business mentor, and when you have a chance mentor. We'll then go into the bully mentor, the let's be friends or let's be more than friends mentor. And lastly, we will cover the by the book mentor. Okay, so first up, let's talk about the I'm all talk mentor. Some mentor relationships start off very well. There are promises of advice, support, and other assistance, and it sounds blissful to a mentee's ears, especially when they are a novice and they need a lot of help maneuvering in their particular field. But a lot of times these promises and great relationship, it's short-lived because the I'm all talk mentor, they're about lip service and they really don't have real intentions to put in the time and effort to mentor the mentee. But the mentee doesn't realize this is the case until they're in the middle of some kind of dilemma or issue where they need their mentor, but their mentor, they could care less. And I don't think this neglect is intentional, or at least we hope not, but it doesn't really help when the mentee has no one to rely on in a time of crisis. So for this one, the bottom line is that this mentor just doesn't have time for them. They have likely overextended themselves to such a degree that it's difficult for them to keep track of you or the mentee and the expectations set for that relationship. For this one, my recommendation would be to be demanding. If you demand some real mentorship and you specify a mentoring plan up front and you create an accountability plan with your mentor, they should know right then that you are serious. And if they're hesitant, then that's when it's up to you to decide if you really need this mentor or not. Here we're going to talk about the Sourpuss mentor. Uh, so I think we've all come across someone who is constantly bitter and disgruntled and peeved about anything and everything. But could you imagine this person being a mentor to you? And although that mentor may actually like you, their negative perspective on life may influence your own perception of the field and your career path. And no one wants to be known as a sourpuss, and mentees may think that if they model their lives after this particular type of mentor, that they will inevitably become just as disgruntled and negative. It's also draining to deal with a moody mentor who is unhappy. You may start to feel like you need to dampen down your own happiness level when talking to this type of mentor, or the mentee may even start to reverse roles by taking steps to cheer up the sourpuss. And normally, the mentor should be the one that is motivating the mentee. So with this one, we want to definitely don't try and take the mentor under your wings as a mentee in hopes that you will be feeling rainbows and puppies and lollipops. It's just not going to work. Just leave the bad mood alone and try to gain as much good mentorship as you can while limiting these face-to-face interactions. This type of mentor is also prone to gossiping about colleagues or other students, so limit your physical interactions with this type of mentor, and it may help you escape the black hole of drama and pettiness that unfortunately I think that we have all experienced before. Did you ever have a mentor who didn't quite make it to your scheduled mentoring meetings where you were going weeks without a meeting because of their shifting schedule or because they were going in 100 different directions at once? Or maybe they cut short the meetings they did have because of countless interruptions. They were there, but they weren't really there. This is what I like to call the drive-by mentor. Their heart can be in the right place, but they just might have a few habits or diversions that can make mentoring tricky. Check out the video on the next slide and let me know, have you ever come across a drive-by mentor, or maybe you might recognize yourself even in this drive-by mentor.
I'm so glad we finally got to meet. Okay, so where do you want to start? What do you want to talk about today?
So I was just wondering, you could possibly mentor me, show me tricks and trades of this new job position whenever I've been here for a couple of weeks now. I just need somebody to take me under their wing. Hopefully somebody who's a little bit higher up in management and you get that?
Yeah, let me actually send a quick text message real quick. Give me 1 second, I'm almost done. Okay, alright, so real quick, I'll call them in just a second, but what was it? So, you got a new job, and hopefully I can help you out with that. Yes, I have so many good plans, some stuff that you can read in a training program, and I think that'll be a really good start for us. So if that's okay, let's start there. I'll shoot you, I'll have my admin shoot you an email, and we'll go from there. Does that work? I'm sorry, I have to cut it short and make this phone call.
Yeah.
Just because it's really important, but it's so great to finally see you though.
Yeah.
Let's do it again in 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yeah, is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. That's 2 weeks, yeah.
Okay, yeah, and do you know what else we could do is you could probably go with me and attend my branch rate meeting that I have. It's in 2 months if you want to do that too. It might be really good.
Yeah, that'll work.
2 months. Yeah, okay. All right, 2 months. 2 months. We'll see you then.
Yeah, 2 months.
Okay, all right, I gotta take this call. I'm sorry. Hey, okay, so what time did you want to do that lunch? Because I'm really busy now.
All right, next up we have the All Up in Your Business mentor. So this mentor is nosy. They're really nosy, and they want to know everything about you. They want to know what you did over the weekend, who you're dating, do you want to have kids, what your favorite color is, your feelings on politics, all that. Like, you get my drift. So now it's possible that this mentor is nosy because they're just good-natured and an inquisitive person. But to be on the safe side, just assume that the all up in your business mentor, they're not the one you want to divulge your deepest, darkest secrets. And because it's possible that they could be a conniving person that's going to use these personal qualities or experiences that you've shared with them. They could use them against you or to control you. So in general, you always want to be thoughtful about the personal information that you're giving this mentor, and keep in mind that it could impact your professional setting. And when you're giving this mentor information, just think, could this be used against me one day? But especially be on alert when you have a nosy mentor. So keep your boundaries up at all times. Also, if you display a professional boundary, most people are going to gladly abide by these boundaries. So even the nosiest mentor typically will stop hassling you. But it's important to establish that up front when you recognize the all up in your business mentor. Okay, now let's talk about the when you have a chance mentor. So, how's your schedule looking? Are you trying to enjoy the weekend out with your friends or your family? Do you really love your sleep? Maybe tonight's that night that you're going to go for a 5-mile run. Well, not going to happen with this when you have a chance mentor. This mentor will always seek you out to give you new tasks that are likely to take way more time and effort than this mentor imagines. This mentor is usually a senior person that has absolutely no clue how long tedious or minute tasks take because they haven't done them in 20 plus years. Or this mentor might also be a junior person that just has no life, and by default, they think that you should have no life too. And if you're wondering, wait, this sounds just like a boss, not necessarily a mentor, well, yep, this situation in which a mentor thinks a mentee is a synonym for a minion. The only way really to deal with this situation is to learn the art of being assertive. Ask other peers, maybe, what are appropriate expectations in your field, and don't hesitate to ask another mentor what they would recommend. Almost everyone is going to have a mentor like this at least once, so you're bound to get a lot of helpful feedback if you ask your peers or the people around you. Okay, and here on this slide, we will talk about the bully mentor. So the best mentors will tear you down, but then they're going to help build you back up. And the worst mentors, well, they're going to tear you down and then beat you with a stick and leave you for dead. So this bully, if you will, is disguised as a mentor. Just be careful. Just because a mentor criticizes you doesn't mean that he or she is a bully mentor. Let's just get that out of the way. So critical feedback is a common but necessary part of a mentor relationship. However, this bully type mentor, they don't give critical feedback. Instead, this mentor systematically victimizes the mentee, to be frank. And knowing the mentee is helpless due to being in a subordinate position can fuel the fire. This mentor is extremely critical about a mentee's abilities, skills, and performance behaviors, and even personal traits and qualities. This mentor does absolutely nothing to help the mentee improve their weaknesses. So if you feel continually beaten up by your mentor and feel powerless to change the situation, ask yourself exactly why you're maintaining this mentor relationship. Is there an alternative option, like seeking out a replacement mentor? Just be cautious about how you leave this relationship too, because your mentor may feel the need to badmouth you to others in an attempt to make themselves look good and make you look like an incompetent mess. I've seen this happen to good friends, and it's very unfair to experience. And honestly, the source for some people leaving a job or school or wherever this mentor is can be the bully mentor. Okay, so next up, I want to talk about the Let's Be Friends mentor. Okay, so this type of mentor, they can be emotionally draining. They can be fun for 1 minute, aggravating the next, and it's a full-on roller coaster when a mentor wants to be friends with you, or more specifically, party with you or join you in your non-work life. My recommendation for this type of mentor is to know your boundaries and your comfort level. Is your mentor known to engage in inappropriate relationships? And if so, and you are not okay with that, would it cause you to lose respect for your mentor because of the way that they invite yourself into your personal life? And it's okay to hang out with a mentor as long as you both approve of that relationship, but just be aware. And additionally, in the future, when you are the mentor, don't immediately act like the Let's Be Friends mentor. And even worse, I'm going to go ahead and jump into the Let's Be More Than Friends mentor. And I'm not going to go into this one that much. You can read between the lines, but if you feel like your mentor is trying to put the moves on you or run fast, it's imperative that you get out of this relationship quickly, because the longer you're in, the more likely you will get blackmailed or be in a no-win situation. And a lot of mentees may tell themselves that they're just imagining things or maybe misinterpreting their mentor's behavior, but follow your intuition on this one, and you'll thank yourself when you're a little less naive. One thing that I do want to make clear is that if your mentor fits into one of these bad mentor types, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're a bad mentor. No mentor is perfect. Okay, and lastly, we have our by-the-book mentor. Did you ever have a mentor who stuck to the mentoring rulebook like a glue, and you might have hoped for more flexibility, and yet they carried out the same routine each time you got together, always in their office, at the conference table, under the fluorescent lights for 45 minutes exactly, talking about the same business book or occasionally a different one? This is the by-the-book mentor structure. On the next slide, you will see our by-the-book mentor video for your viewing pleasure and an example of what this mentoring meeting may look like.
Jim,
Hey, what's going on, Jim?
pleasure to meet you. I heard a lot of good things about you.
Hey, absolutely. Come on and have a seat. We're supposed to be doing this mentor thing 101.
Absolutely.
All right, so as I was going through this, I was reading some of these great sections here. The first thing I need you to do is go ahead and fill out this wonderful packet, information packet here. And
Fill out a packet?
Yeah, I need you to fill out a packet. There are a lot of things in there. Make sure you read over diligently, fill out every single piece, dot all the I's, and get all the correct signatures. Carbon copy it, and then go ahead and give me the originals.
I figured we would just chat a little bit.
Well, yeah, that's in a different chapter in the book here. Now, if you look at this, chapter 1, yeah, absolutely. Chapter 1, step 5, section B, and so it's not to create an aggravated assault between the two personnel, the mentor and mentee. I want to make sure that we get all the information correctly first, so we can start this program. Once you like some of our little, we have like a nice little data system we like to collect. All this information is just to help us get started.
Oh, I think we'll call audible on that. I figured me and you would chat a little bit.
No, that would be great, absolutely. But see, there's a section 3. It says that first we're going to start all this, I'll get all this information first into the data banks. Make sure we have all the correct information there, signatures, and then maybe a month or 2 later on, we can actually sit down and get to know each other and talk about some of the. Oh yeah, absolutely.
A month or 2.
Well, yes, we just got this book here that says that we want to make sure that we correctly get this started and the information flows through, so that way I don't miss a step with you and you're able to build your career at a higher pace.
Well, speaking of building, I would like maybe we build a little bit of a personal relationship before I just.
Well, Mike, look, Mike, this is just
my name's Jim.
Right, Jim, Mike, Jim.
Yeah, Jim.
So we just need to make sure that we get the paperwork first, and then after that we can start rolling through this book, because this is what is God here.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. My house phone's ringing. Let me go get that.
Well, that sounds pretty
and
serious.
I'll get right back to you. It was a pleasure meeting you.
Absolutely, Mike.
Pleasure meeting you.
I appreciate it very much.
It's Jim, by the way.
Jim, Mike.
We're gonna catch this house phone.
Cool, thank you.
I hope you have a great day.
Go ahead and get back on this. This is really
Thank
good
you,
stuff.
sir.
All right, so one thing that I do want to make clear, like I said before, is that if your mentor fits into one of these quote-unquote bad mentor types, it does not necessarily mean that they are a bad mentor. No mentor is perfect, and it is common to find flaws in even a stellar mentor. You can definitely work around some of these issues if you put into effort. However, some types, like the let's be more than friends or the bully mentors, they need to be eliminated immediately. Also, remember that as a mentee, you are not perfect either. I know, as crazy as that sounds. So it's always wise to keep active, engaged communication with your mentor to make sure that both of you are meeting each other's expectations. And this is often done best at the beginning of the relationship. So be thoughtful in what you want out of a mentor before you seek one out, and establish this from the very beginning. I hope you guys enjoyed and learned a thing or two, and everybody have a great day.